The hype airdrop gained a huge amount of attention. We'll cover why. XRP is absolutely ripping. People think they're going to become millionaires or billionaires. And there's a few more very decent airdrop plays that I think you need to put onto your radar. We'll cover that and more in today's crypto news. Starting with hype, you can see this is very, very new as a token. Came out just a couple of days ago, and it's up considerably from its all-time low, and it's at a $3 billion market cap or thereabouts. Now, this is the governance token or token for Hyperliquid, which is a perps DEX. It's an EVM, and I've never played on it because it was an EVM and never had the bandwidth to, but we definitely should have. However, you may have missed out. We'll go over it in a second though. Rooter from Save Finance, used to be called Solend, and Suilend Protocol. He says this was the perfect airdrop. It's the best token launch in a long time. What made it so successful, and how can projects reproduce their results? This is exceptionally important. Let's have a look. So build an amazing product. Users are raving about how good Hyperliquid is. Usage isn't artificial farming, it's real. We don't know that for sure though, because we're only going to tell that after things kind of end. Like, when there's no more reward points, then we'll see what happens. Generous airdrop, very generous. 31% of hype was airdrop to users, and that's insane. And they rugged inactive users and a few other things. This last part here is, it'll be interesting to see how the next crop of airdrops land and how the meta evolves. Personally, I'm looking forward to the Suilend and Bluefin app airdrops, which are 40% and 17.5% of total supply. So the alpha here is Rooter, is the founder of Suilend. Get amongst Suilend. We'll be covering Suilend this week for sure. Let's have a quick little look at Meteoric quickly. So this is an EVM layer 1. It's its own blockchain. It's not like on Ethereum or Base or anything. And it's called Hyper EVM. Now, there are like some centralization issues, like they only run all of the nodes, that sort of stuff. We can cover that in another thing if required. It is not the Cosmos ecosystem, which is where DYDX is. If you don't know what any of that means, you don't really need to know any of that. Just essentially, it's a standalone blockchain. It's strongly centralized. Maybe one reason why it is such a massive valuation is because it's not just its own dApp, it's its own blockchain as well. Unsure on that. We'll come back to that this week if required. Now, how much would you have actually got if you use this dApp? So Phoenix here had a sizable airdrop of 5 million hype, and which is done very, very well. However, they actually had, we don't even know what the entire volume was over the course of a year or whatnot. Or actually, maybe it says it down here. So the volume was sizable at $14 million. So a huge amount that's actually there. I don't know what they spent in terms of actually trading. If you keep an open position open for quite some time, then it will accrue more and more fees. And they did 3.2 million in the last 14 days. They were 7,500 in rank, and which means they got this many points. And well, in the end, their actual trading balance was up 5,800, but they got paid 5 figures to trade on the platform. So how many tokens did they actually get? 5,000. So 5,000, you can basically times it by around 9. So it's around 45 grand. So they did very, very well. Very hard to replicate that kind of thing. We have missed it. Unsure if you use it now, if you're going to get things, but it's important to note that you can use wherever you think you're going to be treated best. Let's go over to some more general, broad news. This is all part of the 18.6-year property cycle, which we've talked about before. Jason Bazzino, he talks about it on his channel as well. And Phil Anderson talks about it as, one of the founders of this theory. The average home price in the US is up 50% in the last 5 years, more than double the increase in wages. This is a massive thing. And if you're looking to buy right now, cool, fantastic. I wouldn't, nothing's financial advice, but don't be over leveraged, right? If you can afford a $2 million home, great. But if you're making things stretch and if interest rates go up, then don't. But either way, I do think homes come down, 2026, 2027, 2028, they definitely need to drop. But what I'm just trying to show right now is that when real estate sucks in this liquidity, all these riskier assets like Bitcoin and meme coins will go up. And what's especially very keen to keep an eye on is, remember, all of your millennials and Zoomers, I don't know what the percentage is, 98, something like quite high, cannot afford a house. So they're going to gamble on things where they think they've got some sort of edge. Just something to keep in mind. Now, in general, Bitcoin's gone up to almost 100,000, like $99.8 thousand. But basically, $100,000 is a psychological level, like Sol at $100, $200, $300, $500. ETH at, say, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. These are nice round numbers that are psychological levels, and Bitcoin hitting 100K, that was, of course, certainly relevant. Now, there's a couple of green rippers in here, XRP, Litecoin coming out of nowhere. Litecoin is like just, it's meme coin status now. It is the most meh piece of, I don't know what it is, tech out there. But it's not even trying to be a meme coin. Who knows what it's trying to be? And there's a few other things that are kind of going a little bit crazy, like Link, Chainlink. Maybe the Chainlink army's jumping in. We're a little bit greedy at 80, nothing too crazy. Kind of a respectable level of greed, I would say. And we've got some sizable token unlocks coming. Probably the only one that I'm concerned about actually is just the JTO airdrop. This is exceptionally sizable. If you're a trader and you know what you're doing, this is fundamental news. You can see that it's unlocking in 5 days, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Maybe a short position is in order, but that is not financial advice and never will be. $457 million worth of the token, though. Unsure what, kind of like a pre-seed round on that would have been. Either way, it's sizable. Let's talk about XRP, and we'll do a dedicated XRP video to give a little bit of history, so I won't bore you now. Long story short, 50 cents a month ago, or less. And then essentially a 5x. For a big market cap token like this, that's insane. And if we have a look here, it is in the number 3 spot. So it crossed over Solana, crossed over Tether, and then up here, it's gunning for Ethereum. We'll cover it why in a second. But one thing to keep in mind is if you want to accumulate some or leverage up, you just got to be a little bit careful here, because the open interest in XRP derivatives spiking 30% in the last 24 hours to 4 billion. What this means, and explain like I'm 10, is essentially people are leveraging this up. So if they use, 3x, 5x leverage, 10x, they, push up the price, push up the price, push up the price. All that you need to do is just some big whales come along and they just reset, they flush out these crazy leveraged people, these positions, and then they're laughing, they make a decent amount of profit. So leveraging up, be a little bit mindful here. It's essentially, it's a bit of a meme coin status. And the point on this is one reason why it's doing really well. We'll cover this in the XRP video, but there are people out there, I don't have any tweets available, but they'll be in the next video, that essentially think that one XRP token will go to 10,000 or 500 or 20,000 or something super insane, because they don't understand how market caps work. But it doesn't matter. When you get this trending on TikTok and Instagram and other places where some savvy investor, some young 20-year-old is talking and he starts to get a couple 100,000 views and 1 million views, people will go and buy. And those buys that are seen by centralized exchanges, people, insiders, whales, different trading firms, they're going to leverage up. They're going to leverage up because that's where the meta's going. So they themselves are not increasing the spot volume of, billions of dollars, but it starts there and then someone jumps in. So, I mean, this is a sizable thing, and it's actually still under its all-time high back in 2017. It hasn't actually touched that, maybe 2017, 2018. Now let's have a quick touch on Meow and a mistake he made. Very, very small touch here. So basically, Meow replied to Mitch with the N-word and didn't try to do any harm, but people were upset. Once again, I want to keep this as neutral as possible. Either way, he's done an apology, and yeah, he's done an apology. This is what it was. You can fill in the blanks of what that was. I think it's pretty easy to understand. And now Mitch has been suspended. So iDraw line is his Twitter, I believe, but it's been suspended. So that's what that is. Essentially, I think the takeaway is you probably shouldn't be using the word ever. I kind of feel like this is one of the words that even if you are, like if you're a Black African American or if you're Black and you want to use it, it seems a little bit strange to me that some people can use it and some people can't. I think it'd be better if no one used a derogatory term like this, but it's not my game, whatever. The other thing that kind of comes into this as well is like when people use the term retarded, obviously people with mental genetic issues or whatever, this also offends people. So I try to keep things nice and relaxed and don't use any of those words. If this kind of meta of using the N-word and retarded, if this fades away, I'd be very, very happy. So to be perfectly honest, it's good that these sort of things come up, because then people can talk about it, they can disagree with each other, they can then start to find agreement, and then hopefully we can move on. Regardless, there is a next dupe vote coming up. Maybe it's today or tomorrow. A lot of people keep on misunderstanding the fact that Duperary will be going forward. There are whales out there that are really upset that, they're not going to get their dupe airdrop. They're going to dump, that they're planning on dumping or holding or whatever. There's a lot of people out there. I say a lot, still a minority, but a lot of vocal people saying, I'm not going to use dupe anymore because of the N-word or because there's no duperary, whatever. Now, there's plenty of competition in the space. Competition's coming up, and we'll cover some of those things. I definitely suggest using as many things as you want. It's up to the protocols and the community to make that stickiness. Either way, the summary here is actionable today or tomorrow, probably not today. Tomorrow, we're looking at getting another vote, and I think this is going to just pass. The dupe airdrop has to go out. There's no intention of rugging or taking away the airdrop. It just needs to be done in a way where everyone's happy. And Hype had a great airdrop. Fantastic, well done to them. But they had, years of data before them. They had an extra year of data from, Jupiter's success as well. Gumshoe points out this, Range of Finance is going to be a protocol that will be similar, I guess, in a sense to Jupiter. If you join the Telegram, I think you can maybe have a look at the beta. I'm unsure. I'll have a look myself. Either way, odds of a token to airdrop are high, so make sure to give them a follow, give it a go, see how it goes. One really, really interesting thing is all you can do right now is you can just join and have a look at like liquidation, open interest, funding rates, etc. But the total futures open interest, remember, Jupiter only has 3 pairs, ETH, Sol, and BTC. They're taking 78% of open interest, basically trading volume. And then there's drift over here, and then there's some smaller people. So if someone else comes in and starts to take some of this, and if they work out their tokenomics really well, they'll probably do really, really well. By the way, just for context, the actual dupe token price has gone up, not down, since the N-word issue. We got a cool thing here, Subdoor. Haven't used it, just putting it on your radar, where you can use USDC payments for subscriptions like X Premium, Netflix, Spotify, for people that are maybe unbanked. And this could be really, really cool to use if you need that sort of thing. Personally, I use Cast Card these days. I've mentioned it many times before. Use my code SebMonty, and I use this card. I think this is going to be a potential compared to Revolut. That's a little bit bigger, but I would definitely encourage using this. And then if you can't use that, though, there are some countries that it's banned because of it's a normal KY, I don't know, just banking. And you can try out the other one as well. Now, we've got an airdrop here from Bluefin. Bluefin is on Sui. Don't know much about it. It just came onto my timeline very recently, but they have an airdrop eligibility portal. It's live. However, the token's not traded yet. You go here, you have to connect your wallet to check the eligibility, and there's lots of different people that actually can qualify. 70% of the total blue supply has been allocated to the Bluefin airdrop program, approximately 11% of total supply, which is, quite sizable. Now, as an actual dApp that I've never ever used, it's fairly new. It grew in TVA. It's come down a little bit. It's coming up again with, I guess, news of airdrop and whatnot. And they were on Arbitrum, but now they're strictly speaking only on Sui. I think Sui is going to do very, very well. And maybe this is something that you want to give a go. Jesse's gone ahead and done this to get an allocation of this token. Maybe it's going to be worth almost nothing, but probably still worth it. They have raised a little bit of moolah there, and you can go through this yourself. Essentially, Pudgy Penguins, Mad Lads, etc., etc., etc. They got an allocation. Also, if you had a certain amount of dupe, PIF and whatnot, unsure exactly how much. Give it a go. Just check and see what it's like. Now, the next airdrop coming up is Monkey. Don't have all the information on this, but I just want to cast your memory back to Cat. Simon's Cat. I had a very strong thesis that it'll do well. The Bonk guy is someone that I follow thoroughly because I don't know what his win rate is, but it's very high. It's very, very high. Given that he's not onto low cap things, it's very, very high. They're going to do, I imagine, some sort of, IDO or you can buy the token, but I'm actually unsure how that's going to look. And they don't even have at present Twitter for whatever reason. This though, this is TokenFi. I was expecting to see coming soon Monkey, where we could jump in, like what we did with Simon's Cat. Simon's Cat, by the way, was I know 12x play or something even bigger. But they do have this Medium article. So this is everything you need to know. Long story short, if you hold some Flocky, if you hold, even if you hold on some centralized exchanges, not Binance, you'll get Monkey. And this is the rate here. Also, if you have token, the tokens that are potentially going to be staked in TokenFi's ecosystem, you'll get an airdrop as well, which I think is really cool. And then this one as well. If you have the Bored Ape token, Ape, then you're going to get a little bit of an airdrop as well. And this is going to be maybe very, very worthwhile. ApeCoin holders, ETH Mainnet, ApeChain, Binance Smart Chain will qualify for the airdrop. So you may want to go and buy a little bit on 8chain. I covered that a couple of weeks ago in a video regarding Magic Eden. So you can try that if you like. This is the Bond guy's thesis on it. He will not go and fade anything that's been launched by Flocky or, in some way connected to Flocky. Flocky is one of his biggest positions. And this is a thesis. Remember, he is very often right, very rarely wrong. It's apparently the airdrop's backed by Binance. Unsure if that is true. But launching on BNB chain in a time when CZ is aggressively pushing for the revival of a chain. He will not be fading Monkey here for what it's worth. And apparently it's launching at a $10 million market cap. So I still need to do some more research on this, maybe make a dedicated video if we have time, or just do a dedicated live stream on it. Either way, you may want to hold some Flocky. You may want to hold some Ape. You may have some token. You may want to bid. We need to get some more information on this, but this is happening soon. More news. Magic Eden's token ME is on Solscan, so they've minted the token. But thus far, of course, the airdrop actually hasn't happened. And in terms of how can you play it, well, Token Guy is going to be DLMMing. This guy is one of the best DLMMers out there. And I think it's very, very worthwhile that you give this a read. And he'll probably do it live in Fee Printers Discord. So make sure you're part of that. Cover this all the time. Fee Printers, if you want to do DLMMing, is worthwhile. Now, Meteoric has posted this. When met, I'm hoping we've got a few more months because I do not have enough MET points. And I'm very interested in making a lot more MET points. But Meteoric is going to be absolutely amazing. It's a great tool. And go and get MET points, please. Please, please, please. Now, when it comes to DLMMing, kind of hard. But if you're part of like a community, DD Nates, Mad Lads, an ETH community, you can ask Fee Printers to basically do a liquidity providing session, and they'll do it for free to teach you. So they're doing, great things for Meteor, and I would definitely encourage this. Now, NFT is apparently showing a bit of a sign of revival. I'm not personally really seeing it, but maybe this is the case. You can have a look here and make your decisions. We've really only got a couple of leaders, Mad Lads and SMB Gen 2, although Galactic Geckos, they're also doing pretty well. There's a few others that are not too wonderfully. Portals. I want to make a dedicated video on portals as well. Don't know how we're going to have time, or ideally a podcast with portals. Reached out to portals for quite some, a few times trying to arrange this, and then kind of got lost in the busyness of life. But basically, to have a points program on, let's have a look at it, and we'll cover more in hopefully a podcast or a dedicated live stream video or something like this. They're also December 10th playing portals with Anatoly, and fill out the form for a chance to jump in with Tolly. I think that's pretty cool. So they've got quite a few different things, and for context, this launched 2021. I grabbed some portals. They went to the base portal went to a floor price of like $10,000. I wanted to sell, but the wife really liked building her own little space, and they've just continued to ship. They had funding from different sources, and they managed to survive it. And they did this massive loot box drop. Basically, it looks like a token generation event is coming, and it also looks like this could become an actual kind of Web3 Roblox with games, metaverse stuff. Like maybe we can live stream, maybe we can do like AMAs in there in the future, that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying to buy any of these. Just check your wallets and have a look and see if these are actually sitting in your wallet, because you could have been airdrop some of them. You can go and buy a normal portals NFT on the speculation aspect if you want to, but just be aware there is a decent amount of attention on them already. When you join and you have a look here, you sign up, and I don't have the music on. You go and grab all these credits, and then you come up to these loot stations and you click on them, and you can see thus far I've opened one. Take your bonk crate, open the loot. You have to sign the transaction and approve it here. There's a little bit of a gas fee, very minimal, and then it'll go ahead and it will do its extraction process. We can cover it in the live stream if required, but I think you should just experience it yourself. It's very well done, very bullish on what portals are doing. That does not mean go and speculate and go and sweep the floor. Just literally go and use it, and we'll cover it more. And let's see if we can, in fact, if there's anyone that's really familiar with portals that wants to jump on a call and teach me everything quick, and if we can do a live stream in the portals universe, that would be sick. Or team, if you want to reply to my DMs as well. We can do a podcast. Let's move on to the actionables and let's end it for today. So DCA Sol on Jupe.ag and stake it with Valday.com. With Jupiter, you have to do a minimal DCA of $50. Otherwise, you can just swap every day, or you can use other services potentially. Join my Telegram channel for time-sensitive updates. Had a few days off in the last week, but I'm back at it now. DCA bonk on Jupe.ag as well. Just, get some more bonk. Nothing's financial advice, but bonk is going to $50 billion market cap, in my opinion. Add a bag of XRP according to your risk appetite. The number of normies out there that don't understand the market cap is huge. It's massive. It's the majority of the world, like 95% or more, have no idea what the word market cap even means. If they think a token can go to $10,000, that will go viral. That's viral content. It's far more interesting than what I'm doing, even though this teaches you stuff. That gives you hope and speculation, and you think you can actually become a millionaire. So maybe having some bag of XRP will probably mean that you're going to outperform the market. Use Instagram and TikTok as well to stay on top of the latest trends and possible meme coins. If you're not a native English speaker, I would suggest just watching stuff in English because that's where the majority of the content will be. But you may find some other things in some popular languages as well. But in general, have a look at those things. Try and keep your feed based on crypto as opposed to wandering off to health or gaming or whatever. Just look and see what's coming onto your feed that shows that normies are interested in something. Have a look at the view count, the number of upvotes, all that sort of stuff. Airdrop actionables, Meteor, of course, Met points, WEN token, we want that. Play Bull Run on Infinex. Use the Gradient Network and Grass. Check your eligibility for the Bluefin airdrop. And if you're interested in a monkey allocation, remember you have to hold Flocky, token, or ape to get some. The snapshot is midnight, UTC 15th of December. Thanks very much for joining. Hope this crypto news segment was of value to you, and we'll catch you in the next video.